Hey everyone, it's your faithful pack leader Noir here, and really this video is going to sound a little grim because of what YouTube is doing to the ASMR community. Recently, a few days ago, I found out that somebody who I supported, who her channel really got me out of some dark places, uh, got deleted out of nowhere with no warning whatsoever. And her channel is called Teacup Audios. If you're familiar with her and what's going on with her, for those who don't, basically her channel was really popular. She was a really talented, well, still is a talented voice actress, and for some reason I found out a few days ago that her channel was deleted out of nowhere. And the thing about it is she wasn't given any warning. She wasn't given any explicit emails saying that, hey, you need to change your content around so that way we could not have to delete your channel. And what really saddened me was that her channel got deleted anyway. And from what I've read from other ASMR artists who know her personally, saying that her channel, she was sad because she woke up the next day and just found out her channel was deleted by YouTube. And for YouTube to do this really kind of not only upsets me, but kind of like infuriates me, because when it comes to us as ASMR creators, we really don't bother anybody. Our community is small, and to have YouTube attack us out of nowhere, it really kind of upsets me. And a few good friends of mine really agree with me on this, and for them to say the same thing that I'm saying, it really shows that how much we don't see viewers as just viewers. We see you as not only as friends, but sometimes as family. And for those who don't know my channel, I find that family is really important to me. And for most of people who are friends with me personally in life or on Discord or anywhere, they know that I'll treat them like family. And in all honesty, YouTube, you have to get your shit together. And I hate to sound like a doting father, but you have to really think about this, YouTube. I can understand that some ASMRs can be a little bit sexual, but you put guidelines in there for us so that way we wouldn't basically upload it and say, hey, this is for kids and it's rated R. You have to realize that when it comes to ASMR artists who basically take the time into editing, coming up with the stories and stuff like that, you have to realize it takes a lot of time and effort into us putting in the work in order to make other people happy. And what a lot of people don't know about me is that I, in the past, suffered through depression, and I had a little bit of anxiety problems. And it wasn't until a good friend of mine's who basically introduced me to ASMR, like I want to say about 4 years ago, basically had me listen to my first ASMR artists. And their content really helped me basically get out of that dark, depressing hole. And for them, they basically would make me laugh. They would make me cry. They would make me stand on the edge of my seat. And to be honest, that's why I do YouTube now. Not just for like the views, not for like the money, but just to make people happy the same way that artist made me happy. And it got to the point where I even got to where I would listen to them every day while I was at work, while I was at driving down the street, while I was at the store. I would listen to their stories, and for them, they really helped me get my personality a little bit stronger. Like I was a shy person. Like you could not talk to me without me being shy, but now I can talk to people with just a whole conversation, and I've had people be like, did this guy ever stop talking?" So yeah, and to see Teacup Audios just get her channel deleted out of nowhere with no warning whatsoever, it infuriates me. And when I say it infuriates me, like okay, let's put it like this. For somebody of, let's say, Logan Paul. Now, at a young age, I was a big fan of Logan Paul. I love his content. I loved his music. I love his merchandise. I even bought a few of them. I'm not going to lie. But it wasn't until he took a trip to Japan, which really, really caught me off guard. Not only did he embarrass himself, but he made us look like a bunch of racial Americans. The way he basically went down there, and basically, whenever for people who travel, basically, the key idea is when you go to another country, you're basically representing the country you hail from. So if you go down to, let's say you go down from America, you come from the USA to like, let's say Paris, and you basically go down there and you basically are making fun of the French, saying oui, and all that. Now, that not only shows that you are a little bit ignorant, but you don't take the time into realizing how much of a culture you're basically going into, and showing that you really can represent yourself. But when I found out that Logan Paul went down there and basically embarrassed himself, and not only that, what he did next really kind of caught me off guard. What he did with that video in the forest in Japan, and if you guys know which forest I'm talking about, which some people would know, but to people who don't know, Japan has a forest where people, I want to put this as lightly as I can, they basically have a forest where people go to, let's just say, when they have no other options. They go down there to basically relieve themselves of all the pain and shame that they have. So when I found out that Logan Paul actually recorded somebody doing something of that nature, it really took me back. It really just shocked me. And when it comes right down to it, it just really upsets me, because if YouTube can really come after ASMR artists who really don't do much but to basically make people laugh, make people cry, make people come back to a certain channel to say, hey, look, they have a super series on here on this person's channel. You should listen to it, and make that person feel so special and wonderful, and help bring them up instead of knocking them down. It really, really makes me happy when people like us as YouTube creators, basically as voice actor creators, basically do that for people. But if YouTube can allow somebody of Logan Paul's status to basically do what he does and still get views and doesn't get talked down to, it really shows what YouTube's priorities are. And YouTube, I understand that we're going through a pandemic, and you really probably don't have anybody that can take calls right now, but you can't allow the bots to do everything. Now, you have to realize that once this pandemic is over, I hope that you can have like a full staff that can basically help people when certain things like that happens. Because because I feel more comfortable when I have like a representative who can talk to me, basically explain to me why my content was taken down, instead of a bot who algorithms you basically program saying, okay, delete this thing if this certain thing basically crosses the terms of service. So all I ask is that when it comes to this, just please just get your stuff together, YouTube, because because you're basically not, I don't care about the money, but at the same time, I feel that you're taking out a lot of the creativity when it comes to us as voice actors, because when it comes to me, I'm a very creative person. I have a bunch of stories that I really want to upload to my channel, and there's one I'm working on right now that will be released on January 1st, basically New Year's Day. So I really want people to not only subscribe to my channel, but also be like, okay, this person is really good. But I would hate for you YouTube, to just take my channel down or take my content down because it basically violates the terms of service, when I basically followed every piece of your guideline and you found something that if I say a certain bad word, it gets taken down. But you have to realize, YouTube, you made this guideline for us so that way not only do we feel safe, but at the same time, you're taking a lot of the creativity out. And I know for the last, I want to say, couple of years, you've kind of been a little off and on about your guidelines, but you have to realize that you can't basically, how can I put it? You can't stop the creativity from us, because I hate for us to have to move to a whole different server, a whole different website where we can feel free to upload our content. And YouTube is known as yesterday's website. Like, nobody goes to YouTube anymore. And YouTube, you have to realize that you made two different types of YouTube for kids and YouTube for regular people. And you have to realize that when it comes to, like, let's say certain not safe for work content, that for those who do that, they basically tell people that this is rated R, this is for people over the age of 18. And you have to realize that in a way, kids are still going to find their way to listen to this. Like, a 12-year-old can just lie and say that they're 22. No different from how basically it's basically no different from when your parent used to catch their child doing something they're not supposed to do. Instead of going after the people who make the content, maybe the parents should go after their child and explain to them that you cannot listen to this, you should not watch this. I understand that you're going through a certain phase, but please just chill, in all honesty. And like I said, YouTube, there are times when you can be fantastic and really fair to people because you are willing to work with us, but at the same time, because of these new guidelines that you're putting down, it's basically taking out the creativity for us. And it really would suck if I wake up the next day and I say, I got an idea, and I'm like, oh man, I don't have the energy to do it because YouTube is just going to take it down. I would hate to do that. I love being a creative person. YouTube, you actually got me into voice acting because of all the great content you allow to be on YouTube. But if you keep this up, a lot of people are just going to say F it and not just get on YouTube at all, because you are just appropriating so many guidelines that really sometimes I can understand, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense. You're not being transparent enough. Now, if you had, let's say, if like with Teacup Audios, you basically deleted her channel out of nowhere, and which was not fair. But if you were to send her an email a week ago saying, okay, Miss Teacup Audios, we basically reviewed your channel and we feel that it violates the term of service. Now, we will give you 3 days to basically fix your channel, and we will review it after the 3rd day. If we feel like you're still within the guidelines of the terms of service, we will not give you a strike or terminate your channel. But if we feel that it violates the term of service or the guidelines, we will delete your channel. So that way, not only does that give Teacup a chance to call and say, okay, what can I change about my channel so that way it's more friendly, but at the same time, it's that way she is talking to somebody who's an actual person, not a robot. And in all honesty, it really just kind of upsets me. YouTube, just get your stuff together. Bring Teacup Audios back. I can tell you she does wonderful voice acting, and like I said, she's helped her channel. And basically, whenever I felt sad, whenever I felt alone, whenever I just needed a laugh, her channel was there. So for her channel to just get deleted out of nowhere, it really kind of upsets me. And before I leave, I wanted to say one more thing. If you YouTube were to just say, hey, maybe for those who do not safe for work content, let's talk to them and say, hey, we feel that we can allow you to upload your content onto our website. But if you were to, we will allow you to advertise it. So that way they can still upload it. Let's say they upload it on Patreon. They can upload it on Patreon and not feel any repercussions, because now people will have to pay in order to listen to that certain audio. But at the same time, YouTube, you're allowing them to at least get their content out there so people can be like, okay, I'm going to look at Patreon later. That's all I have to say, YouTube. Just get your stuff together. I understand we're going through a pandemic right now, and you probably don't have anybody at your headquarters right now taking care of everybody. But just get your stuff together. A lot of people come on YouTube just to laugh, just to cry, just to watch anything stupid. But at the same time, if you take us down as a VA community, then what is left is there? We understand that there are other websites we could go to, but YouTube, you're basically the main website we come to. And just get your stuff together.